Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour. I'm your host, Matthew Hawkins, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Ed Carbajal. And we are brought to you by allaccessmma.com. Check out our video podcast on allaccessmma.com. This week, we have the pleasure of being joined by Paul, the Ninja Turtle Teague, who will be competing in about a week and a half now at BKFC 18 on June 26th in Hollywood, Florida. Paul, thanks for joining us.
No problem. On the show, I know y'all busy.
All good, Paul. You're breaking up a little bit there, or there might be a little bit of a delay, but it looks like you're fighting in the fight capital of the United States right now, because Hollywood, Florida has got a lot of stuff booked. What are you doing to prepare for? How close are you to Florida? Where do you fight out of? Let us know some of your background.
Hey, I'm in Hollywood, Florida, on June 26th at the Hard Rock Seminole Hotel, I think is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Hands, man. Just looking to go down there and be.
Oh boy, we got having some connectivity.
Yeah,
issues.
We're having severe issues right now. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything you said, Paul.
Is this any better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that sounds way better.
Okay, I'm connected to Wi-Fi, so I'm surprised it's doing. I'm great signal on Wi-Fi.
You're back right there. So Ed was just saying, why don't you tell us a little bit how you got started and where you're training out of, and what it's going to take for you to get down to Florida for this BKFC fight.
I train out of No Mercy, aka the Goon Squad, out of Union, South Carolina, and I've been fighting since 2014. I made my amateur debut on 3 weeks of any kind of training, but I wrestled in high school, so I didn't want that to go to waste. So after I graduated in 07 and didn't do nothing until 2014, I ain't gonna say I was out of shape because I was still doing my I'm a video gamer, but I playing Call of Duty or UFC or something, I do push-ups or sit-ups between breaks between. I've always wanted to be in shape. And
wrestling is a good base.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
So I was going to say wrestling's a good base, though.
Oh yeah, it most definitely is. That's one reason I got in. That's one reason I got into it. Somebody asked me, I went to a local fight and I was like, I want to do this, and I asked one of the people that was over it. I was like, how do I do this? They said, just hit up this person. I hit up that person, and then the guy I hit up that day, I ended up being on a bunch of his podcasts fighting for Conflict MMA down in Columbia, South Carolina. And he's like, a few years ago, some random guy walked up to me and told me he wanted to do this. He said, you have a lot of people that do that, but they don't really want to do it. They just want to talk to you about it. He said, you actually did it. You're getting ready to fight for a title. So you did it.
So you had some wrestling in high school, and then you basically just showed up, saw some guys fighting, and decided that was the next move.
Yeah, but see, I was playing UFC 2010 at the time or something. It made me it's like, I said, I want my wrestling good ways. I want to try this. And then I got my dad bought me some MMA gloves for Christmas in 2013. And then as I would go to academy to return them because they was too big, my late boxing coach before he passed away, Darryl Webb, he was working the door at academy when I was at when I needed to return these, and he handed me a card and said, "Come." He said, "Come out to my gym." He said, "We box there." I said, "I'm looking to MMA." He said, "We'll get your hands right." He said, "But we do have a few state championship wrestlers there that actually get on the mat and wrestle around, so they might be interested in MMA with you." Hey, we went out there in a boxing ring and just got it on.
So you have like a total of 4 fights now, right? I mean, and you got one coming up at the end of the month. I mean, so is it? Do you have someone coaching you? Like, it just seems like you fell into it. You'd be surprised about how many wrestlers got into fighting the way that you did. By the way.
Yes. I've been when I first started, I had a coach named Billy Joe Cook and Jason and Abnett as my MMA coaches, along with my boxing coach Darryl Webb. But now I'm under No Mercy MMA, which Brad, his name's Bradley Pruitt. He's been he was also coaching me when I first started with Billy Joe and Jason and Abnett. And Brad, I've been with Brad ever since, and we had a kind of a year and a half snag because he was in a real bad wreck that almost killed him. His Dodge Ram pickup went up under an 18-wheeler trying to do a U-turn in the middle of the road, and he was very fucked up. So it was like, but after he I was coaching about 25 people out of my mom's basement.
Wow.
So what do you know about your opponent for the 26? I know his last name is Famez. I mean, what's his record? I mean, how do you prepare for a bare knuckle fight of this caliber? Oh, whoa, I think we lost him again. There he goes. Here he comes. He's coming back. Hey.
I'm so sorry. My wife just tried to call me. She thought I said it started at 9.
It's all right. You're sticking and moving. So,
Yeah.
So from MMA to now BKFC, you did have a fight with Toe the Line. I guess my first question is, what's the separation between Toe the Line and BKFC? Are they the same company? Are you dealing with the same people, or is it a totally different organization?
Toe the Line, the way I look at it is like Dana White's Contender Series for BKFC. That's what they bring. Like, bring in some people to see if they got what it takes to be on the BKFC card.
But is it the same? Is it Paul Feldman, or is it a totally separate organization?
Paul Feldman is affiliated with it, but Nate Shook was the matchmaker and the one that was over, which he's the matchmaker for the BKFC too. So it's like a feeder program, but now they have the BKFC tryouts as well.
Yeah, that I know about. The one thing before we lost you, I was asking you about your opponent, Famez, that you're fighting on the 26th. What do you know about him? And like, how are you preparing for the fight for somebody? I mean, I don't know much about him. I couldn't find anything on him. So
all I know is his name's Famez. He's an R&B singer out of Hollywood.
Okay.
Pro boxing record.
Interesting.
The guy with the two. What I found on the two guys that he fought were 7-27 and 0-12. But I think he also went to one of the tryouts they had too. Maybe that might be how he got noticed. And somebody like that, if they got like a big coming from the music, especially in his hometown. But I heard he had a lot of street credit, like a lot of street fights, a lot of street credit. So I'm not gonna go in underestimating because some of these street fighters come out swinging in that lucky punch land shit.
Yeah, BKFC is a different animal. I attended the last event out in Birmingham, and I've talked about it several times on here, how it's just a different world. Had you seen a bare knuckle fighting event? I mean, other than street fights, had you seen an organized bare knuckle event before you showed up for your first fight?
On TV, not live.
Not live.
And I had never before I started actually training in anything or fighting, I had never been into a street fight. A little scuffle with my sister here and there, but brothers just wrestled around growing up anyway. So that was about the only kind of fight I had besides my wrestling.
Wow. So what do you like? How did you? It just seems like you up and decided you wanted to start fighting one day. So is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, basically, I like I was playing video games, and it got me like, and then I started watching UFC, and I was like, I said that's something I want to do. I said I want to give it a shot. I said bump it. I went to my first fight. Supposed to fight who has been my best friend for going on 20-something years now, because like I had an original opponent, but they dropped out, and then I was at 155 looking for somebody. He's like we couldn't wrestle against each other in high school because he was at 125 in high school and I was at 155 in high school. So, but after he joined the military, he got some weight on him. He's like, I'll fight you. I was like, okay. And he was a state champion wrestler and a North South wrestler. So I knew it was gonna be fun because we both made. I made it to state. I never won, but I knew it would be a fun match, just because.
Mm-hmm.
Best friends going out there just to slug it the hell out with no folks to give.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. And but 3 days before the fight, the South Carolina Commission would not accept his military physical, and he didn't have the money to get another physical. So on 3 day notice, I ended up fighting a guy who had been training for 7 years.
Oh wow!
And I had 3 weeks of training post wrestling. Well, it started off the guy like we was going. I got a couple of good licks. I kicked him with just like the 1 week of karate that I had to learn how to throw somewhat of a kick. And then he went for a head kick, and I caught him, took him down, punched him a few times.
Oh wow!
And he went for an armbar. I stacked him and started punching him again. And then once he swept me and I got on my back, I didn't know what the hell to do. I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was neither. So I got punched in the face, got punched in the back of the head, got punched in the face some more, got punched in the back of the head some more, and then they called it. And then after that, I walked to the locker room. I threw up because my nerves finally caught up with me. And my dad sitting there beside me, my dad and my boxing coach, Daryl, and my boxing teammate at the time, Tony. We were sitting there, and my dad was like, "Is this what you want to do?" I said, "Hell fucking yes." And my dad's like, "Well, let's get in the gym and put in some good work." He said, "Let's do this." I mean, I was going out there expecting I was going to get knocked out in like 40 seconds or something.
Yeah.
I got TKO'd in the first round with 15 seconds left. So I was like, I made it almost 3 minutes. Yes.
Hey, not for nothing. That's the way you got to do it, though. I mean, you have to be present in the moment, and if it doesn't go your way, you got to take the lesson from the loss, right?
Yep. And then after basically a month or 2 months of MMA training, I fought in June, and then my next fight was in August against a guy who was 2-2 in Columbia, around his hometown. So of course I went in as the underdog. And when I started training that's when I started training with Billy Joe Cook and Jason and Abnett, and we were sitting there just hitting. I had only trained with them three Sundays because I was working a full-time schedule on days they had available Sunday too. So I went into my next fight against a guy who was 2-2 with a decently strong wrestling background. He was based. He was living in Germany on a military base, wrestling in Germany, and he thought I was just a boxer because I was trying to have a boxing gym. And I told him, I said, "Man, I'm looking to throw hands." He's like, "That's fine." He's like, "I'm looking to put your ass on the ground." I was like, "There's a problem with that." He said, "What?" I said, "My wrestling background." He said, "I'm not worried." I said, "Well, you should be." And then we started going at it, and I got into I mind fucked him at the weigh-ins. I completely messed with his head at weigh-ins, and by how I said I said, "I'm going to tell this." I said, "He's bringing a good fight. I'm bringing a good fight." I said, "But there's only going to be one man standing." I said, "Does he look like he wants us to be standing after this fight?" Nah, bro. And his whole momentum just changed. Like his whole mood just changed. We come out fight day. He threw some whack ass kick. I missed. Then he went for a double leg, which he got me down. Yes. But I stood up with him and standing Darce choked him on the cage and choked him out in 47 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Seconds.
So you picked up your MMA. Yeah.
And I told the podcast before on the night before, I said I'm gonna finish him within 45 seconds.
Crazy. So I don't know if I'm stealing this one from Ed, but how did you get where'd the name the Ninja Turtle come from?
Well,
other than the Ninja Turtles.
I mean, hence the tattoo.
Oh,
nice.
But I was a Ninja Turtle. I was a Ninja Turtle fanatic growing up. But the reason I got the nickname, because my original fight name was Paul My Dirk Teague. My Dirk being my gamer tag, which I've had a few of my friends from Xbox who I played with back in the day but they were still friends with me on Facebook. They messaged me. I had some random guy from Tennessee after my fight April 6th messaged me. He sent a message. He said, "My Dirk?" ? I said, "Yeah, who's this?" And he told me, he's like, "Dude, I met you in Tennessee the other night." He said, "At your fight." He said, "I didn't know you fought, bro." He said, "You actually went through with it after you was talking about it." So it meant something to me. It was like, yeah, awesome. And
So let me ask you. Let me ask you something. The whole I thought just the Ninja Turtle thing was because of like your desire to fight and stuff like that. But it looks like you've mentioned video games several times. Do you find that like your hand-eye coordination is easier when it comes to striking and training and stuff like that because of all the gaming that you do? Because people always try to knock gaming versus doing something athletic, and I think that there's mental training involved when you do something like that.
Well, I have to say, I've all because I've been a gamer my whole life, and I just recently became a video game streamer as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most of the games I play, I used to play UFC. I used to play like a buttload of UFC, a buttload of Madden. Now I'm basically just Warzone, Call of Duty, and my hand-eye coordination, I have to say, probably is like maybe not hand-eye coordination, but my eye coordination, be able to see things quick and react.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but because on the video game you do use your head, but you ain't got to like move and try to block like you would with fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
But my hand coordination is pretty good due to the fact of being a gamer my whole life, and like people are not video gamers all the time, but I used to tell people all the time before I even started fighting, but like I bet you I hit you before you hit me. Just saying.
Yeah.
But the reason I got the name the Ninja Turtle, my old coach Billy, because if y'all haven't looked like any of my YouTube fight stuff or anything, I always like to do spinning attacks like spinning back fists, spinning back kicks, spinning wheel kicks. I like to do a lot of spinning attacks or like ninja. So my coach used to call me a ninja for that sorts of stuff, but when I first came to MMA, I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was, so I was like a turtle. I couldn't get off my damn back. So he named me the Ninja Turtle because I had a big thing about Ninja Turtles.
That actually makes some sense.
Yeah.
That's cool how that came together. You said you're obviously a fan of the UFC video games, and you said you started watching UFC. Are you a fan of the sport in general? Do you keep up on the weekly fights and everything that's going on in the fight world?
Yes, well, reasons behind that because I also work at Dave & Buster's where we show all boxing, all UFC events. So me having fight knowledge helps my pocket too.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's always been like once I started playing video games, I started watching it, and I got more into it. Which my ex-wife didn't really like. She supported me here and there, but she didn't really care. She'd go like Hooters and stuff, watch it with me and stuff like that. But besides that, my wife now, she was happy when I retired the first time because she supports it, but she's one of those needy women that always wants you there. So, and we butt heads a lot because I mean if I'm not training, I'm playing a video game. But I still give her her time, but I don't give her 110% like I used to. And we're going on December 23rd will be 3 years married. June 17th will be 4 years together.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
So how did she react from your retirement to bare knuckle fighting? How did that go?
I'm 1-3. I'm 1-3 as a professional MMA fighter, which April 6th is when I completely retired from MMA. Which to be honest, give or take, I say I should be 3-1, maybe even 4-0.
Mm.
But if you go back and watch my fight, you can see all 3 fights that I lost. I was dominating. First fight I lost, I got caught with an Americana. But I was stuck in a triangle for 2 minutes, elbowing the man's lights out.
Yeah.
Second fight I lost, I got caught with an armbar after I was murdering him with elbows on the bottom, beating him on the feet. And then my last fight, dominating on the feet. I went for something stupid, slipped, ended up on my back. Was doing well. I had him in what I like to call a code breaker, but I want to say another name for it might be the honey badger, is where you put your knee to the chin and just basically pull, like people with broad shoulders, like say how Horace and Chemo, I think it was, how he couldn't lock the triangle because his shoulders were so broad.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really like a triangle on somebody like that, especially if you got short, stubby legs and they got swole shoulders. So the way I do it, I set it up like a triangle. I bring my knee up, I put it on their chin, I pull down on it. I put both hands behind their head, pull down, and just pull and like kind of like a
Sounds like
pressure, basically.
Yeah, it sounds like a gogoplata, but with the
knee instead.
Yeah.
And he caught me with one elbow. It shook me a little bit because I forgot about elbows. Because I never really been hit with one in a fight, so it was like, oh shit, he can do that. And I started shrimping, and then he caught me with like bam, bam, 2 right back simultaneously, right there.
Yeah.
Right there. So I went out for a split second, came back, but when I came back, I was in a choke, so I thought he choked me out. He was still choking. So I tapped, not knowing I was actually choked.
So it looks like you prefer bare knuckle to MMA then, right? I mean, does it seem easier, harder to you? What's your take on it?
Well, I lost the fight. I just constantly don't want to constantly keep training and everything, jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling. Sorry, my phone slid. I just really didn't. Now I can just focus on my boxing, which I'm still kickboxing at the gym and everything, here and there, to get teammates ready and stuff. I'm still grappling with them and everything, but right now we're just focused. They've been helping me get ready for this because they know I'm gonna be fighting in front of like 40 to 45,000 people, give or take, plus whatever's on pay-per-view. Biggest crowd any of us have ever fought in. So it's like I'm gonna show up, show out, get paid, enjoy my vacation in Miami because I'm a Miami Dolphin fan. So I'm gonna definitely make a trip to the stadium before I leave, and I'm going down there to fight this guy who I have no clue about. But a buddy that I work with, who's a rapper from Hollywood, Florida as well. He's been up in South Carolina for 2 or 3 years now, and he's actually showed me a song where Thomas is featured in of his. So he knows him, and that's how I knew he had a lot of street credit down there of street fights.
So you said earlier your MMA fight early in your career was at 155. According to Tapology, your last weigh-in was at 170. What is this fight going to be fought at?
Well, as an amateur, I fought 45, 55, and I took a 4-hour notice. I took a 4-hour notice fight at 170, and my pro debut was supposed to be at 170. It ended up being at 175. My next fight after that was 55. Then it was 173. And then my last fight was at 170, which me and him both could have easily made 155. But I was like, what do you want to fight at? He's like, 65. I said, 70? He's like, 65. I said, 70. He's like, fuck it, we can eat. So this fight right here is at 155.
Do you have any problems cutting weight, or due to your wrestling background, is it something that you're pretty natural doing?
I work it out back in David Buster's, so try not to eat is my problem. But besides that, I have grilled chicken and salad where I work, so this one's been a little bit easier because since David Buster's is showing the fight, my boss has been calling my food. He's like, I want you to make weight. He said, we want you to not go out there and get beat up since we're showing it.
Are they going to show the BKFC at the David Buster's?
Yes, sir. The one in Greenville, South Carolina.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Like we usually show any kind of combat sports. Like we're showing the Anderson Silva versus Julio Cesar Jr. fight too.
Interesting. That's my kind of Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, no, the one out here in Jersey does it too. What was your question?
Where are y'all actually based out of?
I'm in New Jersey.
And I'm in Temecula, so Southern California, between San Diego and LA.
Yeah, the only Dave and Buster's I know that shows that many fights. I want to say the one in Virginia Beach, ours, few in Florida, and there's a Dave and Buster's usually shows mostly all UFC fights, especially if they're around like the sports side of things. But see, we show them because Wonder Boy's gym is right down the road from my job, so. Obviously, we're going to show those because Wonder Boy is going to bring that crowd for people who can't make it or can't afford it.
Yeah, no, the one out here in Jersey shows them too.
Yeah, they do. Nice.
Yeah,
I got family in Hackensack.
Did what was that? I had it lined up. So you got the fight coming up. How early do you get out there for it? The fight's on a Friday night. How early do they get you out to Miami and get you the week going?
The 26th, I want to say, is on Saturday. I want to say this one's a Saturday.
Okay, that could be wrong for sure. But either way, what do they get you out there a couple days prior to the weigh-in, or do you show up on weigh-in day?
I'm flying out Thursday night.
Okay.
That's got to be rough. I mean,
give or take last 2 or 3 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. I was just gonna say. I mean, that's got to be cutting it close with your weight. But if you got folks helping you like your boss and stuff like that, then you should be all right. Especially it's something you're used to already.
Yeah. I mean, now I ain't gonna lie to you. I have had to cut 15 pounds in a day, and fuck that.
Well, I mean, you got to watch Florida though. Florida gets mad humid. I mean, you're in South Carolina, so you know. But
oh yeah. Well, see, I'm the way I am. I'll water load the week of the fight and give or take, I'll lose 7, 8, maybe 10 pounds. Like right now, I'm sitting at 166 a week out. So
yes, that's not bad.
I'm sitting comfortably. So give or take, if because I'm gonna be on the plane when I get, because this is all that hurts. My coach cannot make it because his daughter just made nationals in dance and softball. And they're both in Myrtle Beach that same weekend. So, and he's her coach in softball. So she dances on Friday and plays softball on Saturday for both national all-stars. So he's got to go up there, which I'm okay with. My coach. This is the only fight he's ever missed of mine. So even after he had wrecked under the truck, he came in with a cane. Sat down in the corner. He didn't do none of the hollering because he really couldn't. So my teammate would take care of everything, would holler and everything, so there was no problem. And usually my other coach, which is my dad, would come down, but but my niece had to have surgery that day, so he's got to be able to drive her home. So my teammate Brian Stonehands Jackson, who's a pro boxer, pro MMA fighter, and won bare knuckle boxing, so. He's gonna go down and corner me along with my manager, who is Joe Elmore. I signed with 187 Management a few weeks ago, and Joe Elmore is my manager, who I've also fought before in a pancration match before I made my pro debut, just to get used to the pro scene.
Yeah, for those that don't know, that are just kind of picking up, Joe Elmore is one of the top-rated lightweights in BKFC. And one of the more respected fighters. So that's great. I guess I wanted to ask one quick question before we wrap up here about the South Carolina fight scene. You've been around it, you said, kind of going back almost to 2007. How have you seen the scene change? We talked to John Lucas. It sounds like South Carolina, the Greenville area is especially picking up momentum as far as kind of a hotbed for the fight scene right now.
Yeah, it's picked up a lot. Like, Derek Brunson's got his promotion, Ultimate Battlegrounds in Myrtle Beach. Showcase MMA, which is Casey Oxenham's promotion, has been around Greenville. Revolution Martial Arts, they've got one called Fight Quest that they've been doing in their gym, like inside their gym, because they got a nice facility where they can do stuff like that, and they've been doing a lot of amateur events there, which the scene's been a lot better. But all 4 of my pro MMA fights were in Knoxville for Valor Fighting Challenge, which I respect Valor a lot. That they've been able to get some of my guys on the card. We went up there five deep. We went up there just one guy, but they seem to they managed to find us fights, find us opponents suitable for us, and they don't just throw us in there like with somebody.
Oh, we lost him again.
Give him a second, see if he bounces back, and we'll be wrapping up the show for the week. But let's see.
There he goes.
Sticking and moving.
People keeps calling me. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
That's all right.
Wait, where were you at? I lost where you're at. So anyway, so you got the big fight coming up Saturday. It is a Saturday. I did confirm my calendar was wrong. Saturday, June 26th for BKFC. Their most stacked card to date. Multiple title fights. Paul, do you have any social media handles or anything you want to throw out there? I know your Instagram and maybe Facebook for any fans that want to follow you.
Yes. You can follow me on Facebook at Paul the Ninja Turtle Teague. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Ninja Turtle BKFC. Also,
what did you say your gamer tag was?
And my gamer tag is my Dirk26. That's on the Xbox. But I have if you play Warzone and try to hit me up. That's also my Twitch handle too. My Dirk26 is my Twitch handle too. Tune in. And I got a few sponsors I'd like to give a shout out to as well. That's cool.
Absolutely.
I want to give a shout out to Guaranteed Motors LLC up in Spartanburg, South Carolina. They've been selling cars, pushing cars for these newly graduates, these newly drivers. They're awesome. Drew Metcalf is he trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too, so he's familiar with the martial arts field. Also, I got to give a shout out to Under the Sun Tan Salon. They're there's a tanning bed place and a hair salon. They're awesome. Thank you, Taylor. You're awesome. I want to give a shout out to a heavy metal band. If y'all listen to rock music or heavy metal, make sure y'all check out a band called Redefine. They're awesome on the local scene. They're actually playing at this big 4-day concert up in Danville, Virginia called the Blue Ridge Rock Festival. They're playing with people like I Prevail, Korn, Papa Roach, people like that. They're playing with like big names, and they're awesome. Like Jordan, the lead singer Jordan, the drummer Dustin, they've been with me since my pancreas fight against Joe Edmore in 2017. It's been like they've been awesome. They've been with me. They've sponsored me. So, and they're awesome. Like I listen to that type of music. That's my type of music all day, every day. And also want to give a shout out to Filth, they're more death metal. If y'all listen to death metal or black metal, Dustin Mitchell, their lead vocalist. Great dude, awesome man. Their name of the band is Filth. Make sure y'all check them out. Dustin is just like he just started sponsoring me for my first pro day. After my pro debut, he started sponsoring me, and I'm always giving them shout outs. One of my other sponsors is Dirty D's Garage over in Jonesville, South Carolina. That's my brother Dustin Blanton. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't get. He fixes all my cars for free. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't get anywhere if I needed to, because he takes care of me, makes sure my car's good. Like my drive to Florida, he's got to make sure I'm up and ready to go.
Awesome. So fans can follow us again at allaccessmma.com. They can follow the podcast on Twitter at Combat Hour. Coast-to-Coast Combat Hour on Instagram. Follow me, Matthew Hawkins, at MMAHawk21 on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Ed at Carbazol on Twitter, Carbeerzol on Instagram, and Oldhead Carb on Twitch. Again, it's Paul Teague, June 26, BKFC 18. Best of luck, brother. Also, a quick shout out to John Lucas for helping set this up. Our main fight doc for the show. So shout out to John, and best of luck, Paul. Good talking to you, man, and I'll be watching and cheering you, and let's bring some pain on the 26th.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I want to tell y'all, thank y'all. I love y'all. Make sure y'all always eat y'all's vegetables.
All right.
Will do.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good night.